Welcome to the Smite Wars Chronicles. Tech support. I hate tech support. Anyway, we're up and running. Criminy. In the last 10 minutes, I have fixed a washing machine and this, so it's awesome. So at least you guys can hear me now. Is everyone in? Are we waiting for anybody? Is the question, I guess.
No, Erin said she should be joining right about now, so.
Awesome. And audio is working for everybody?
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect. Hold on one second. Sorry, the high winds have me spooked. Thought my garage was going to come down. Anyway, welcome to my first Chronicles, yada, yada, yada. All right, so when we were last here, let's reground everyone. It's been a while. You found yourself at an oasis. You made your way through the Badlands. You schemed with Sid Dicious. You remember Sid? Where is Sid? Sid should be here somewhere. We dropped Sid onto the map. He's hanging out with you guys. You're by the fire. Many good things have happened to you so far. Curtis, you were scheming with Jimmy Hammertoe, and if you guys return water to the Oasis, Jimmy Hammertoe has agreed to make you, I think, some custom armor, right?
Yeah, I think. So the more I was thinking about it and realizing my armor was good, but I really had right now a not so good shield. So I was hoping I wanted to talk to him about possibly shifting that to, if there's any way Jimmy can make me something similar to a silver dragon shield. It just has a picture of a dragon on it. It's not made from dragon scale or anything.
What's special about it?
Well, it adds a +2 to my AC, which it also adds the same score to any encounter rolls I may need to do, initiative rolls.
Interesting. Yeah, just jot the specs down, and I'll look into it. I think I can acquiesce on that. As long as, you know,
Awesome.
The condition being you bring back some water here and seal them.
Alrighty, I'll do that.
So you guys are gathered
Jimmy
around this.
Hammertoe in the bazaar with us?
Yeah. Jimmy Hammertoe is right here.
Oh yeah.
Those who were here. And yeah, so there's, these are the merchants. So you can have a second to shop in a second if you want. But I wanted to sort of, as you sit around the fire, they fill you in on some of the details of what's really going on. So this is where some good old narrative's going to come your way. Right? So, the Desert Guards, they're this increasingly powerful faction in the Badlands, right? And, they put forth an argument that water, the essential sustenance of the desolate landscape, should be a strategic resource controlled and distributed by them. And there's a lot of conjecture as to whether the them is really them or the them is someone else. Anyway, they argue that, that the current setup where water from the Shadow Sea freely flows into the riverbeds and feeds the vibrant oasis has led to some imbalances in the region. They believe that unchecked prosperity at Sid's quick oasis, made it possible by the diverted water, threatens unity and harmony of the wider region. So they're kind of vilifying Sid and his oasis. And that was sort of the rationale they used to sort of divert the water. So, they claim that the water should be more equitably distributed to other parts of the Badland, which are left to struggle, right? To enforce this new water policy, they had sort of started diverting water from the oasis by seizing control of the waterworks facility. However, this isn't quite as straightforward as it seems. So, like Sid adds, the promise to redirect water to the local population, it appears, is a smokescreen, right? Observations and rumors suggest that the diverted water is not being sent to the parched settlements in the Badlands, but to a mysterious special interest group. Their true intentions cloaked in secrecy. So, sort of causes you a little bit of pause, right? So a lot of unknown questions and things that Sid can't answer, right? Like, who is the secret group? What are their actual intentions, right? So forth and so on. So let me give you just this will be for people who weren't here, so I'll give you a little bit of other narrative, right? So Sid is sort of this charismatic overseer, right? And you guys have been pulled aside. He has that twinkle in his eye, and he gives you a little bit of history, right? Like this oasis, he begins his voice carrying the weight of responsibility. This is just a business. It's a symbol of hope and survival amidst these punishing badlands. People rely on this not just for goods, but for life, for water, right? The desert guards, they're threatening this lifeline. They claim it's for the good of the local people, but he tells you it's a bloody lie, right? They're directing our water to a special interest for reasons only known to them, right? Are there any questions that you want him to answer, or to Jimmy Hammertoe to answer? They're both at the fire with you.
When did this all start, timeline wise? Like,
hello,
how
you
long
joined.
have you been doing it? Hi.
It's been going on. He shares that it's been going on for a few months, honestly.
And do you see a peaceful resolution being possible? Is there any negotiation here, or you think that these people can't be reasoned with?
He thinks on that for a second, and sort of shakes his head. If it were the real intentions, if they're stated intentions, then yeah, this would be negotiable. But since this seems like it's not above board, it seems like this is a smokescreen. He doesn't see any situation where he'll be able to negotiate as well his way out of this. Plus, all he has to offer is the services of his oasis and the betterment of the people. And again, that's they're using that against him. Anyone else? Any questions?
And you need more water than what we have in our water skins.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, I assume you're being sarcastic, but yes, absolutely. Now,
No, I was willing to give you my water skin. I was genuine.
Yeah, and Jimmy Hammertoe looks at you sort of like side eyes. He's like, "What?" Right? Because the most impacted here is Jimmy Hammertoe, right? His smithing uses a lot of water, right? Sally Goods, General Goods and stuff, right? A lot of her stuff is sort of brought in from the local farmers, but the most directly impacted in the oasis itself is actually Jimmy Hammertoe. Now, Sally Goods, General Goods is going to start to struggle, right? As soon as the crops, the stored crops are dried up, but up until that point, like she has a bit of runway left.
Has anyone else tried to restore the waterways?
So he tells you that they've sent a few groups of people in to sort of negotiate and sort of sniff around, and while no one has been hurt or harmed, they have been pretty readily turned away. But through those conversations, they have been able to identify at least some marginal tactical information about the waterworks.
Who would we talk to get that tactical information?
Well, he and Jimmy Toe sort of like smiled at each other, like they can share this information with you. It's one of the reasons they've gathered around the fire, right? They want to make sure that you're well armed.
So, as part of that tactical information, do you know roughly how many forces they have? Like, how many people are we going up against, if it comes to blows?
Dozens and dozens. Now, Jimmy Hammertoe weighs in. Now look,
I think I mentioned this to you before. Like, this desert guard, these are rent-a-cops, right? These are not your elite fighting forces. These guys are pulling a paycheck. They're probably trying to make ends meet. I bear them no ill will, but they have sided with the wrong group for money. So as far as I'm concerned, they've made their choices. But I'm pretty sure I could take 2 to 3 of them in a fight myself.
Are you saying that they're not incredibly loyal? So those dozens can be easily swayed if we take out a couple of the leaders?
They're loyal to their own ends. I wouldn't say they're evil, right? They're not evil. They're just negligible on the moral compass. They're just pulling a paycheck, right? I don't know if you've ever spent any time in Flan, but you know the 4 hired security guards that sort of guard some of the higher end merchants. It's those guys, right? They may have some military training from the past. They may be retired. They may just be out and destitute and just in the need of some income, right? So that is the Desert Guard is for them, right? We jokingly refer to them as rent-a-cops.
So I wonder if we could pay some of them off to take us to the water source. Kind of walk us in as if we're new recruits or something.
I wouldn't trust them. We can give you directions and some tactical information about the waterworks, but you do you. But I don't know if I would trust them. They'll turn on you and they'll turn on each other. That's what my gut says.
Noted.
And how far away is this water tower place thing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just a few. Just a little over an hour and 20, right?
So, with the tactical information that you have, have you figured some way to keep the water flowing constantly? So if we go and defeat them, there's always the worry that someone will come back and stop the water to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, we need a durable solution. Just sneaking in and flipping a switch isn't going to be it. In some way, shape, or form, we've got to make it clear to them that this is not worth the money that they're being paid to take care of it. Right?
And is it a dam that was put up, or do you know what has stopped the flow of water?
I'll let Sid take this.
So, it's the intel that I've gotten is it's a pump room, right? So below this fortress is a pump room of sorts that sort of pulls the groundwater that feeds both the lake as well as sustenance of the area, and they're pulling water directly from that spring to the point where they've lowered the basin to a dust bowl, right? And they're now pulling water from below the surface exclusively. Now, the fortress itself is not complicated, right? It's a bit like a 5-armed octopus, right, with walkways leading away from a central area, which we think is at most 5 different rooms, like a main room and 4 what I would argue are either barracks or storage rooms. In one of those rooms, we believe there is access to the pump room below. Interestingly, approaching this fortress, which was just our water utility at one point, but now we've begun referring to it as a fortress. You can accommodate that via the east or the west. Now, the east is the expected primary way in. You'll find yourself at a stone wall with a large opening, and that opening will take you on one of those tentacles, one of those bridges that lead to the actual fortress itself, right? Typically guarded by a handful of archers and a couple of guards, right? Now, each of those little arms that point out in various directions provide a vantage point for 1 to 2 guards, usually an archer and some other sort of a guard, on each of those tentacles. Now, the fun fact is that because of the mess they have made and this dusty basin they've created, you now can access this fortress also from the west, right? By walking directly on the now flat, dry basin bottom. Now, depending on the wind and the time of day, you will either be visible or not, right? If there's a good enough breeze, it blows up plenty of dust, and almost a dusty fog. You can make your way within 10 to 15 feet of the walls before anyone would see you. You can get a little closer than that if it's dark. However, wind dies down, you are exposed. So we have not tried the western approach. All of our approaches have been to the gate. We've gotten as far as to speak to the commander himself, but he was uninterested in any conversations because his pockets are lined with money from some special interest.
And when you say when it gets dark, like, are you talking pitch dark, moonless night? Like, you could probably get close, or like just at night in general, you could probably get close from the western approach.
You're confusing me, son. So you're asking what? You're asking
So-
if you get...
You said we could get close if it's like a windy, like sandy day, or if it's kind of getting darker. You could probably get close through the western approach. So when you say when it's getting darker, do you mean like a pitch black night where there's no moon out, or do you
yes.
mean like a night when there's still sandstorms? Can you describe the?
I think in the sunlight you could make your way a good way towards the fortress without being seen in the mid of day, the 12 to 2 time period, right? But in the wee hours, the moonlight, whether obscured by clouds or full on, unless you're in a harvest mode where we have a giant moon really beating down, it's going to provide enough light for you to sort of see, but not enough to really make out the shapes and sizes of things, right? Further, at night, there's less guards. Man, they do shift work, right? So about every 2 to 4 hours, we aren't exactly sure, they change their guards. Indeed.
Oh.
Okay, so here's what I think we've got to do, guys. We need to go away for a little while, do some jobs as hired guards. That way, the company that's hiring them will say, hey, this group seems like we need to hire them for this water thing. We infiltrate the guards, try to get on the night shift, and then when everyone's asleep at night, we can go find where the water is, turn it off.
Or we can just
Although
go
we
in
have
and
to
take
get
them by
rid of the
force.
guards too. Seems like a lot
No.
of extra work.
Extra steps.
Yeah, we
Well,
should just do what we do best.
I thought it was a pretty good plan.
I like.
I
the
mean,
idea
I'm no
of going
Tyros
at
when it comes to
night.
making
Most of us
plans, but
have
you know.
night
Such a
vision.
long game.
Such a long game.
Jesus Christ. Study
We
to
really
guards.
trust-
Become a guard.
It is a
we
Dinjarin thing to
marry
do,
them
though.
and raise children together in the community.
I mean,
of
if we
guards.
want to just go kill people, I guess we can do that too.
And then our children can become guards. They'll never see it coming.
A few generations from now, we'll get the water running, and things will be good, right? Like,
Oh, Dinjarin.
So what, we'll hook you up with all the provisions you need. Hammertoe, what's the weather forecast? You've been in enough battles, you have enough joint problems, you can sort of read the weather with your limbs at this point, right?
You said that's not cool. Anyway, but I will say that my left knee tells me that it's going to be a fairly clear night. The moon will be low in the sky, but there is a good breeze. There's a good breeze of blowing, I'll have to say.
Well, that breeze may stir up some dust then, which will help us.
You could count on that, but just as long as the weather holds, I wouldn't dilly dally. I wouldn't make with the tea parties and the picnics on the basin. I'd find my way as quick as possible to cover. Again, these are a bunch of knuckleheads, and I don't put much stock in their ability to fight. However, one mosquito you can swat, but a swarm of mosquitoes, well, that's going to make for a rough night.
I have another idea. If we all, so I have a potion of gaseous form that lasts an hour. If we get close, I could drink it and move silently as gas into the room where we are. As long as we all drink cocoa right here, once I'm in there, you guys could use, we could use our Santa hats, and you could all teleport into that room wherever I am, and then we could just from inside make our way out, because they'll never expect someone to already be inside.
I do like that. Yeah, I mean, I think that what we've learned is we have to dissuade the guards from that. So, fixing the problem at
We
full
just kill
health
them all
and
on the
working
way
our
out.
way out. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
just kill them
sense.
all on the way out, right?
So,
We're
Fred,
all attuned to our Santa hats.
it seems like you may have. I may take my leave. Do you have any more questions before you go about your scheming?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Do you, so you said someone's hired the guards. Do you guys have any thoughts or ideas as to who has been hiring the guards, other than just some benefactor that for some reason wants the water?
We did.
You know, look. Have you heard of the Black Cult of the Dragon? Also referred to as the Black Cult, the Dragon Cult, and the assholes in the red hoods.
Yep,
My
we're well aware
money's
of those.
my money's on them, right? There's been whispers about them for a while now. You know, I can't say much about them, but I can just tell you that they seem to be bad news. You know, they've avoided the Oasis at this point, largely. But there's been rumors of them asking about like doodads and weapons and rare, powerful materials, things that you wouldn't find in an Oasis. So, now I'm no fool. I run an honest business, and I don't like to be involved in dodgy dealings. So I tend to steer clear of such conversations. My end game here is just I want my water back.
Alright, well,
All right.
I
I think we just
we got
have
enough
to
info.
finish up with your buddy Jimmy Hammertoe here.
Well, then I'm going to take my leave of you, and I bid you both a good day.
Thanks.
So with that, Sid and Jimmy goes back, or Sid goes into his building, and Sid heads back into, you know, his little area here, sort of knocking his stuff out, doing his thing, smithing away with what little water he has left. What about the rest of you?
Quick above the table question for you.
Yes.
Jim. I have it says I have 1 level of exhaustion. I don't remember what that was for or how I got it.
Oh yeah, I've got one too.
Are you encumbered?
Where is it showing that?
Top right corner,
Oh, yeah, I noticed that last time, and then it went away.
an icon of an eye.
No,
Let
I
me-
do. I only have 161 out of 240, so I'm not encumbered.
All right. Well, let me remove that effect from Dinjarin first, and it should be gone now from you, Dinjarin. Yes. And let me go into Mr. Tyros. Anyone else weird?
Yeah, and I'm not unencumbered either.
All
Or
right.
I'm encumbered.
It might have been
Where do
just
you see
a weird thing that went through.
Is it on the character portrait? Or...
No, it's on the top right, where the chat bar is. It would be like an icon of an eye.
Got it. Okay, I am.
Yeah.
Now. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm quickly
Mine's
just
gone
checking
now.
you all because you don't want to be encumbered for this next segment, I'm sure. I'm also updating to make sure that all of your effects are applied. Looks like Glory is good to go. I'm going to let you guys collectively tell me what Glory does. I'll move her around the screen for you. But I'm going to let you guys make her choices for her.
Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge.
Indeed.
Yeah, Lori would probably shop around.
All
I'm getting
right.
a lot of the errors. User Adam Greer lacks permission to update. Blah 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 blah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm updating your I'm updating your automations. That's probably what it is. And we're gonna get rid of all. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm seeing it updated a ton of stuff for you guys. So I'm gonna clear out the chat log. Skadoosh. Now it's gone. All right. So you guys are sitting around this fire. What I'm hearing is that you want to attune to your Santa hats.
I think we all did. I'm already attuned to mine.
When did we do that? Did you guys sit around a fire and exchange? Oh, is that what we started to do this last round?
Yeah. Well, I think you guys attuned to him like
Was it on the
one of the
pathway here?
first episodes back, yeah, on the pathway here, because I know it was already attuned for me. So I think at one point, everyone, like when I missed one, you must have decided to attune to it.
Okay.
I was trying to get everybody to drink the cocoa and tell the story of selflessness.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. It's like I don't recall that piece. Did that happen?
No, I started it towards the end of the last episode. David, we couldn't hear you talk about it. You were muted.
Oh. Okay, now I remember. Yes. So you're attuned to the Santa hats, but to link them,
Yep.
we need to link them.
Yeah.
You also, to remind you
and-
guys, you have stones, paired stones as well.
Yeah. Walkie-talkie stones.
Yeah.
Do we have to attune to those to use them?
No,
No,
but we
you-
have to choose who we connect with.
Well, no, you've already done that. So you guys have you can whoever is number 1 can communicate with number 1. Who's ever number 2, so they're paired up.
Who does
Oh,
number
it's like a
2
channel.
work
Yeah. So there's
We know that
so
already?
they,
There you are.
each stone talks to one other or can communicate with one other person, right?
I don't think we handed them out though. I think only 1 or 2 people have all of them.
I think it's
I don't think
Stephanos
we-
that has all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So should we do the link the hats, drink some cocoa, and do a foretelling of our selflessness?
Yeah, just do a quick. We'll do a quick peer review of your. So, who wants to start?
I will, because it's
for it.
rare used to be rare for Dinjari, but after Glory lost all her stuff, I bought her a new spell book with just not expecting anything back, just wanting her to feel like she still has her things.
Awesome.
Here's
you guys
to
are
that
role playing this, so I'm not
opportunity.
saying anything. I'm just a DM.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I downed my hot
Indeed, after
cocoa.
Lori lost all of her items, I spotted her some money at the last market we were at. And also, I took a gift from Sid, knowing that it was quite appropriate for our good friend Stephanos here, which I would love to give to her. It's a crossbow with light of warning.
I recall a time back when we were in some dungeons and there was what appeared to be a mentally disturbed individual that everyone wanted to kill. I really wanted to save his life still. Did not work out the way we wanted, but I was always concerned about keeping lives.
The empathetic intention was there. Sorry.
Stephanos.
Wait, are we reflecting?
Yeah, you have to share one. You have to share one moment, one touching,
Selflessness.
selfless moment.
Oneself. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. I'm working.
I can't make out what you're saying.
Or
Can anyone else hear her, or is it just me?
He's cutting in and out.
Actually, maybe that time when I froze a spider so that Lori could fulfill her dreams of riding a spider.
That was a beautiful moment. Cheers.
What's that?
Toph. And then I'll do glory.
Yes. I remember back when I was in the cult and I was set on night watch over the new acolytes, and one of the littler ones who I knew probably wouldn't make it through training decided to sneak off in the night. And even though I knew I would be whipped for letting it happen, I didn't cry out or wake anyone up. I let him go.
And
I'll drink to that. I'm Glory.
Hi, Glory.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not. My heart is not often open. But in this one moment, I will share a moment, a very private moment with you. It happened just recently, before we went through Great Peak Pass. The journey to Great Peak Pass gave me a lot of time to reflect on my relationship with Alexandria. And I don't think it's a secret that I could not stand her. I didn't trust her. I didn't like her. I will go as far as to say I wished harm upon her so she would just be gone. There was not a lot of trust. But on that long drive, as I watched her sort of solemnly take in the nature, take in everything, I opened my heart a bit and forgave her for all of the indiscretions that she has clearly taken against me, and has never admitted to, and have forgiven her. So upon her death, I feel that I had made peace with that before she passed. I am wrestling with the fact that I do not miss her.
And I think that's
Can't
about
miss everybody.
as open as Glory could possibly ever get, quite honestly.
That's about as honest as one
Yeah.
could expect.
Yeah, I mean, she did want to weekend at Bernie's, the Alexandria's body, so there was there was that. All right, so you guys, it is now, I'll say, probably about midnight. The sun has gone down. Jimmy Hammertoe is still banging around over there, but the markets have shut down. What are your plans?
Should we head out?
Yeah,
Towards
I would say now's a good time to head out.
Do we want to actually? So if we want to do that gas form thing, I would probably need one of those rocks so that when I get to where I need to go, I could tell you guys. Because otherwise, you have no way of knowing that I'm in that room or where the water is.
Do I have all the rocks?
I believe you do have all the rocks. Yes.
And actually, you know what? I need to check because I don't know if I could just at will say like, "All right, I'm done being gas. Can I go back to being a human?"
So you have about an hour to reflect on that. So my question to you guys is: are you guys which way are you coming in? Right. What's your plan there?
Well, I think the west over the sandy side entrance is my preference, and I would think at night would be a slightly better time to go when there's less guards.
Agreed.
So it takes about an hour to get there. What time would you like to arrive?
3 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a good time.
All right, about 3 a.m. So I'll get that ready while you guys scheme and Dinjar and you figure out what you want to do.
Now, hold up on that. Do you guys mean arrive at the castle, or not, whatever, the fortress, wherever we're infiltrating, or you mean at the desert we have to cross?
So, what do you mean by the
Like, how far of a distance is it that we're crossing across this like sandy
Well,
expanse?
it's an hour to cross.
That's the
So if we can get to the fortress by about 2:30, 3 o'clock, that should
It's
be.
it's an hour to
Yeah.
the fortress, about another 20 minutes to go from the west because you've got to make your way around some of the mountains to sort of sneak in.
No.
So shoot to be at the fortress at like 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Then, as we get close, I could take the gaseous form and one of the rocks. Like, make sure I have one of the rocky talkies, and then drink the gaseous form. Float inside, find the room that we need to get to, and then I'll contact you guys to use
How
the
quickly can
Xanax.
you move in gaseous form?
Flying speed of 10 feet. But it does last for one hour.
So I have a loaded question. I need to ask it. Can you? Actually, is it in your spell sheet?
No, it's a potion. It's a bottle.
Okay, let me look.
Gaseous form.
Because I got
It's
to
in
look
my
at.
inventory.
I've got to look at some of the logistics of it. So there's specifically one thing that I'm interested in.
I could pass through small holes, narrow openings, and even mere cracks. Though it treats liquid as though they were solid surfaces, the target can't fall and remains hovering in the air even when stunned or otherwise incapacitated.
Okay. I know what I need to know. All right. So what's the plan? You guys heading?
I'm gonna
No,
give Ginger one of the rocks first.
Yeah,
So
and I gotta
have,
give this crossbow to Stephanos, and I can't seem to do that.
you should be able to hit the trade down in the lower left.
Request trade.
Well, you would. I think you hit trade, and then it's you're requesting a trade with Stephanos. So like highlight her, like click on her, and hit trade, and it should trade between the two of you guys.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And Stephanos, when he's done with that, you're going to want to trade with whoever wants the rocks. You need to pair up. Sort of think about this. And today we do have a hard stop. I don't know if you guys noticed this at 1. Because we have to do developer review. I'm assuming you're at that, Curtis?
Yeah. I was going to actually stop a little bit earlier just to... Because I have to switch my camera back over and do a couple things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it starts at 1:05, so I figured we'll end this about 5 sellers.
Tempe, did you need something for this trade for me?
No, it's a gift freely given.
Oh, thank you. So generous.
You know, should I find myself in dire need of medical assistance later?
I got
Sure,
you.
I can count on
My
you.
healing words.
I think he did it all for the Coco stories. Now he's ready for the next hat we gotta attune to.
That's right. And I think you have to attune to the crossbow.
Oh, and I don't
sending...
I don't see the stones in your inventory, Stephanos. Did you already
Oh,
send
they're
them?
in. They're in it. I'm sending a pair of white stones to Ginger.
Okay.
I think you have to hit accept too.
Oh, that's
There you go. Let me see. I do have it. Why, thank you.
And then, should I send the second pairing stone to Tyros?
Yeah, I will gladly take one.
Okay. So you'll be connected to Ginger.
And really quick, so the gaseous form doesn't say I can just drop it, but it also doesn't say I can't either. There is no like information on.
I believe you can drop it when you want.
Okay.
All
And
right,
I'm going to
preparing
assume that you're
stones are set up.
awesome. So you got them all, and you guys have your stones set up. 3 stones to rule them all. Cool. So you want to do arrive? You said around 3:30. Is that right?
Yeah, about 3.
3. Okay. Let me make that happen then. So we advance the time to 3 a.m. The new day begins. Oops, I went too far. Still dark outside, and you guys make your way through the Badlands. They give you some pretty good directions, the pathways that you need to take to work your way through some of the hills and the mountains, and you're going to come upon the water fortress from the west side. New scene loading.
Ooh.
Boom. And tell me when you guys are loaded up.
Yep, loaded up.
All loaded.
Awesome.
Still coming in for me. Like, looks like I'm just standing on the moon.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
Maybe that's what it looks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, yes, it's dark.
Very-
So you guys have night vision, right? Some of you. Does anyone not have night vision?
Yep.
So when you click your character, you should be able to see what you see.
I think there's only one of us who didn't.
Who was that?
Alexandria.
Oh, she's gone.
Yeah.
did.
Right.
So,
Which is ironic because she's an owl.
I know, right?
yeah.
So as you traverse the arid basin from the west, the stark transition from the dusty terrain to the waterworks facility comes into view. Emerging from the rocky landscape, the facility stands as an imposing fortress, carved with the same rugged stone that makes up the surrounding badlands. It's as if the facility was sprouted naturally from the earth, a monument to its importance and the purpose. As you approach from the west, the transition from the dry basin to the waterworks, I'll let you guys look at this image. There you go. Boom. It's stark and a reminder of the life-giving potential of the water in these harsh badlands. The site serves as a stark symbol of the constant battle between the survival and desolation of the landscape, right? So, you're very lucky. You can see the dust is moving across the basin. The moon has you guys largely obscured from. I'm looking at Toph. So Toph, you can barely make out just ahead. It looks like about 15 or 20 feet ahead. One of those tentacles, you're right in front of it, like dead on, and it looks to be like there may be 1 or 2 guards. One's holding a bow, not paying much attention to you, right? Just sort of looking off into the nothingness. It's easier for you to see them as they're somewhat backlit from the fortress itself, and they're higher above the dust, so you're able to see them. Where you're at, you're fairly obscured.
I let everyone
You're
know
up, Dinjard.
Okay. I let everyone know, since I have the furthest dark vision, I believe, I don't think anyone else has 120 feet. I was like, I can make out roughly 9 guards all out here, so just be cautious of that.
Right. You can also see the direction that they're looking.
Yeah. Some are looking towards north and the south. Some are sort of looking towards us, but I don't think any of them have noticed us yet. So, all right, I'm going to take my potion.
All right. You do you, Sen. You do you. All right. So
I
you got a nice
drink potion of gaseous form.
Awesome. And you immediately start to drift to the south.
I
Getting blown by the wind.
I start moving towards the door.
All right. So for every 10 feet you move 5 feet to the south.
Okay. So, I can't move.
Oh, let me.
So
no one else move. We're going to go into free movement mode. This is mostly for Dinjarin at this point.
So if I'm trying to move diagonal, though, how does that work then? If I'm moving diagonally northeast.
Yeah, it's a 1-to-4 ratio, so you're going to roll a 1d4 to see how many feet. So when you're moving, so there's a pretty good breeze, right? Like that's why they can't see you. That's what I looked up when you said you wanted to go into gaseous form. I'm like, it's moving pretty fast. It's as a gas, you're going to have to really work your magic to make your way to the north.
Okay.
So you know what? We're gonna do is it retcon? Because something that I didn't give you an opportunity to do is I'm putting you back. You're in gaseous form. I didn't ask you guys where you wanted to be placed, so I just dropped you on the map.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything strategically, like, where did you guys want to come in?
As long as we're out of sight. Because we're just going to use our Santa hat, so I think as long as we're out of sight and out of range, or close to the edge of range, we're in good shape.
Yeah, so Curtis, Dinjarin, you're locked into taking the potion of gaseous form, but you do see that it's blowing. The wind's moving pretty quick, and that it's going to push you from the north to the south.
Then I would probably have walked before I drank it a little bit further.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, place yourself
north.
where you think you want to be.
I probably would have gone like somewhere up here.
Yeah.
So that as I start going, hopefully it would help me drift down
into the thing, yeah, because it's going to be a thing. All right, so that is that's my one mistake that I'm going to make this game, and no more mistakes from me. Everyone else, this is your only chance to sort of position yourselves where you want to be. This is moments before. We're still at moments before he takes this gaseous cloud. Who's your leader this round? Or this game?
I think it was still Tyros. Is what we kind of. I don't think we changed that.
Okay.
He's the de facto leader.
Okay, so then you can ignore what I just wrote into the chat. No, so we'll ignore that. So it's going to be Tyros. So Tyros, from a planning perspective, do you guys have your? So he's going to drift in. What are the rest of you doing while that's happening? And
we're right now obviously keep an eye to make sure the guards don't do anything, but I'm waiting for my stone to have a communication from Dinjarin to let us know when we're going to activate our Santa hats and get into the room.
Okay.
The plan from there, I believe, is to open up the flow of water and make it permanent.
All right. So is Dinjarin's goal to make it all the way down to the pump room?
If I can, yeah.
Okay. All right, Dinjarin.
Assuming that within the hour time and the 10-foot movement, I can make it down there. So.
All right.
Okay, so I am going to. Do you want me to move my character where how do we want to do this?
So it was. What did I say? It was 20 to 1, right?
Yeah.
So move 20 feet.
10. It's 10. 20.
And now move 5 feet down. I'll let you go at an angle for the 5 feet.
Oh, okay. Angle. So that will be there. Okay.
All right.
So now another
one. Because you're quiet, so I'm not making you do stealth or anything, right?
Yeah, because I don't make noise. I'm just gas.
Damn it! I think you're gonna make it. Did you do the math or something?
No, I literally just randomly picked.
All right, so
I guess I stopped there.
So you stop there, but you see that there's a door, and it's not super sealed. You can make your way through. You also see to the south is what looks like down here, pinging. Seems to be sort of an arrow hole. What do they call those? An arrow slot, right? Yeah, where you assume there's probably an archer or something that's could potentially be in that room.
Right.
Do you want to head in?
I'll head in under the door.
All right, so you can head in.
Do I need to unlock the door?
I'll unlock the door for you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
And
I kind of go underneath the door.
here's what you see, and I'm gonna shut the door back in. So upon I guess drifting into the main room of the fortress, you immediately find yourself in an expanse cross-shaped hall. The high ceiling towers overhead, adorned with functional yet austere fixtures that give the room an imposing fortress-like aura. The faint echo of your footsteps, which you don't have, would amplify if you had steps, but I guess the wispiness of your gas flows through the room. Now, despite the room's scale and stark functionality, there's an orderly sense to the space, a testament to the strategic thought embedded in the design. Each feature, from the positioning of the doors to the layout of the pathways, is clearly very calculated. Right? You basically see this large main hall, and it looks like there's a smaller room in the northeast, the northwest, the southeast, and the southwest. Standing around you, you see in front of you see a handful of guards. One looks more imposing than the others. The one by the table looks a little bit more imposing than the others. All right. Now they're just moving around. What you hear the commander telling the rest of the group to sort of get ready for their shift change. It's about 3:30, so about a half an hour, to start shaking the other the guards that'll be tapping the ones out, awake. But other than that, that's sort of where you are.
All right. So I'm gonna really quickly. Can I see where it seems like might be the direction I need to head? Like, does it seem like there's an area where that has more guards that they might be like guarding a door more, so I can kind of guess like, okay, that's probably where I need to go?
No, not really. You see that ahead of you, that you see the main door. If you had come in from the east, there's a guard positioned there. There's a commander at that table. There's a guard right in front of you, and you can't see anything else. Other than that, it looks like they're not expecting anyone to attack. Quite honestly.
Okay.
You aren't seeing you're looking at their uniforms. Like, uniforms aren't like pristine. Like, they have untucked shirts, and they just look thrown together. Like, these are clearly not professionals. They don't take a lot of pride in their jobs. The commander, on the other hand, the commander does seem a little bit more like he's probably more highly paid. He's sort of your executive.
And really quickly, will the wind affect me in here? I'm guessing not. But
normally I would turn off all of those effects, but since there's people outside, I'm leaving them on. So normally in this room, you wouldn't have any of these effects.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down to this door down here.
All right.
Trying to avoid anyone, like the gas hitting anyone.
Yeah, can you roll a d20 for me?
Sure.
All right, yeah. No, you're fine. Lower's better for this. So I'm just trying to identify, like, what color is the gas?
I'm guessing it's just like a gray, misty.
Misty, okay.
Like,
yeah.
foggy look.
Yeah. So from at least with the 4, like, it's probably just some, like, they just think dust is blowing in under the door, right?
Okay. So I'll go into this room, begin going under the door.
All right. Go ahead and open it. And you immediately see that it heads out into the tentacles. So, like, it's heading back outside. Right?
Okay. Then
and you feel your gaseousness start to, like, suck.
I pull back in. I go back under and go back in right away.
All right. Good to go.
So I'll go over to this door and do the same thing.
All right.
This just looks like a sleeping chamber. So I kind of move back out. I'm going to go up and around to this other door over here.
Yeah.
This one
yeah.
over here.
So the other that room down there, hold on, let me give you the narrative for it since you went there. Yeah, so when you went into that room, that was, clearly sort of the leader's room, something like the sleeping chambers for the leader. Nothing overly spectacular, probably a little nicer than the rest. You saw there was a desk, like, for scheming and whatever else, but right now there's clearly a not leader in there, someone who's just possibly making the beds, getting things ready for the next shift. All right?
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm gonna go over and go under this door here.
All right. Immediately,
Okay,
you see
so
outside,
that's
and the
the big
dust
one.
starts to
Pull myself back in.
All right.
Okay, so just kind of hugging this wall, I'm gonna make my way over, like hoping that if I stay next to the wall, no one will kind of really notice the dust moving in wild ways. And then I'm gonna make my way up to these back rooms up here.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go in this room right here.
The right one?
Yeah, the right one right there.
So you open it up, and immediately you see the sort of northeast room of the fortress is one of intense and practical importance, and the evidence of the moment is you step in within it. The room's stone walls are interrupted by narrow, slits to the north and the east, allowing defenders to protect the exterior approach. Right, so it's a pretty well protected room. You see a couple of substantial-looking guards in this one. They're a little more professional-looking. Or I'm sorry, let me make sure that one of them looks more professional. The other looks like a rent-a-cop. But it's sort of the northeast corner that draws your immediate attention. I will give you a little picture. Flanked by two crackling braziers, a large metal hatchway is built into the floor, and it serves as a barrier and an entrance. The hatch's heavy construction and deliberate nature of its design signal its significance. This is not merely a door, but it's a gateway to something vital and well protected.
I guess kind of looking at that hatch, does it look like there's enough, like, because I can fit in any like cracks or small like openings. Does it look like as a gas there's enough like opening that I could kind of go down into there?
Let's find out.
Oh, not something I'm good at, guy. Come on, something big. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah,
not great,
despite your negative, yeah. So you find a crack around the seal that is big enough to pull yourself into.
Okay, I go over there and go down through that crack.
All right, so give me 2 shakes. Activate. And let me pull you on. It's going to go dark for the rest of you. All right, Dinjarin, I'm pulling you in. So there you are. You now see.
Okay, time check, by the way. How long has it roughly been since I took the potion?
Let me advance the time. So I think it's been about 20 minutes. So I have advanced the clock. How long does it last?
In 1 hour.
Okay.
Or until I decide to drop it.
Okay. And then the other time check is that we need to be done with this in 4 minutes, or we could end now, if that works for everybody else. So let me give you the quick narrative for what you see.
I'm fine either way, by the way.
And then we can go from there. So, entryway, barrels. And I'll give you look at the little photo if you want. So descending the stone stairs from the fortress above, the pump room, I guess you eased into it, immediately presents itself as a place of both function and hidden danger. The musty smell of aged wood and damp stone fills the air. The sound of distant water provides an eerie undertone to the space. Right towards the southwest of the room, the path winds towards the sound of rushing water. The sound grows louder as you approach, if you were to move that direction, right? So you're in sort of this maze, this area of barrels, of barrels. You hear water off to the west. It's fairly well guarded. Again, for the most part, these look like rent-a-cops, but nothing you're too worried about yet. So your goal, I guess, is to find some place to call forth your friends.
Yeah, so my thought was I would follow down to the southwest, like staying as best as I can along the wall.
Okay, well, why don't you do that, and then we'll end when you get to when you're done. And again, it's fairly dark. Everything's lit by braziers down here. So as you get to that point, you see that there's some stairs sort of off to the west, heading down a little farther.
Okay, I'll go down there. I'm just assuming the lowest point is going to be the best place to call everyone in.
Potentially. And then as you round the bend, you start to see some water. Right? So the pathway, from that, from the storage area leads downwardly, eventually opening into a massive, breathtaking cavern. It's a sensation of space and openness is immediate. It's a contrast to the cramped confines of the storage area. You hear water echoing and reverberating through the entire cavern. The cavern itself is filled with a substantial body of water, dark and still, reflecting dim light provided by strategically placed lanterns along the walkways. The ceiling is lost in the shadows, and the walls seem to sort of stretch out endlessly. Right? So you're seeing like lots of giant pipes and with lots of valves on top of them. But again, at least 3 guards, one of which looks a little more badass than the others. A little more elite, if you will. But again...
How deep is the water?
It drops off. Let me look. It looks like it's probably, you lose sight probably 20 to 30 feet down because it's very dark.
Okay.
So it's some sort of a reservoir, right?
Got it. Okay. Do we want to stop here, everybody?
I think we stop here. Well, I have to stop here. So,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they don't get to see what you see. But when we play next, you are here. You'll have to decide at what point you call them forward and how funny it would be if they were over the water, I suppose. And you've not fought a thing. There, you haven't raised the guard. You have a good, I would say, 30 minutes left of your gaseous form.
Okay.
All right. You may,
Quick.
You may want to consider pulling your team together in a different place. Who knows? But you can't communicate with them at all now. They're just waiting. All you can do is pull them forward. Right?
Yeah. Quick question.
You have that stone. You have a stone, but you have to be. You can't be gaseous form to use it.
Yeah. Well, I think they have to come to me. I have to tell them, okay, come to me. I don't.
No, but
think
you have
I
a
can...
communication stone, and you also have bring the Santa stuff. But you can't do
but I
either
can't
of those
use...
in gaseous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I have to find a place to get out of the gas form. But quick question: as a gas, could I potentially, like, say, suffocate someone?
No.
Darn.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Yes, I have had someone else say, can they make their way into their body and then come back into form and explode them from the inside? The answer also was no. So, although that would be pretty spectacular.
It'd be pretty cool.
Awesome.
All right, I have to drop. I heard the meeting start, so.
Me too. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see what you guys do here. I didn't expect this. So, as always, I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.